We're pretty glitchy. Do you think it's translating that way? We're just doing a test run here.
Hello, we're doing a little test. We're seeing what it's like if we, throw on some music. How badly it glitches out.
Is it pretty bad?
Mm-hmm.
Is this what we actually, this is real time?
This is about real time, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's super laggy?
Emil says, I see and hear you.
Well, that's good.
That is good. Yeah, it is a little laggy, right? Like we're moving like just a little bit weird. Uh-huh. Hello, Groovy Tulips.
Oh my gosh.
Back in the building.
Wow.
Test 1, test 2. Test 1. Yeah, it's a little laggy.
I know.
Can you guys hear the music though? The music is nice, so chill. I think
cool.
so too. It comes at the cost of us moving smoothly.
What if we just don't move? Like we just are like this.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Really still.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way to do
and then
it.
they'll never know we're lagging.
Yeah. Yeah, the video will never have to update. That's awesome.
Shoot.
That's okay. It is cool to see though. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the hunch I had was that it would slow down too much, but I think that's okay.
Okay.
It is still interesting though. All right, let me close this out then.
Close out the music.
Yeah.
We did have Japanese tea house music on before.
That was pretty good.
I was hoping David would freestyle.
All right, here we go. So I'll quit, and then it'll be good.
Like,
yeah, then everything's just like coming right back. That's all right. I think there are other ways to do it too.
Okay.
We might still lag for a little bit, but it'll slowly get better.
It's our processing power, not just our computer. I mean, not just
Same
the
thing.
internet.
No, I don't think it's an internet thing at all. I mean, it could be even the settings of OBS. There's something that I could maybe tweak in here to make it a little bit better. I'm not certain about that though.
Okay.
Yeah, we're still looking. We're still looking laggy. You know what I think it is? It might be a bitrate thing too. But man, I don't know exactly how to do it. Yeah, YouTube's not receiving.
David's just gonna have to serenade us if we want music. Emil says, I called him Emil. Sorry, Emil. OBS would always lag for me when I used it in Maui for a short while. A short while.
Yeah. It's, I can't tell if it's better or worse. I think it's worse.
What are you doing?
I changed the video bitrate, but I don't know enough about what I'm doing. The encoder was okay. Still going. I can't tell if we're in or it doesn't say we're dropping frames. It just says encoder overloaded. It doesn't like what's happening.
Is there something else you can close out?
No. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to mess with things a little bit at some point. Are you pulling up the stream?
No. I was gonna look for inspo.
Look for inspo?
Well, I was gonna see if I had anything to talk shit about.
I see.
To bark up.
Yeah, I wanted to test this, and Miriam's like, let's just go live.
Well, I feel like that's the best way to test it.
That's true. I don't know if I completely have anything to talk about in this exact moment. I do want to find us though and see how this is working. Oh yeah, I guess it is kind of still lagging, huh? That's funny. Huh. Huh.
What? It
That's
is
fascinating.
laggy? Or what are you noticing?
Yeah, or is it actually fine?
I don't know. I think it's
That's funny. It might actually be fine now. I tweaked the settings a little bit. Video lag is coming and going.
fine.
Yeah, I see the kind of same thing. Okay, well, I'll fix it later. We'll just have a laggy stream.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, yeah, there's nothing I can really do in this exact moment.
Unless we completely disconnected and then came back.
Well, you know what I can do actually is I'll turn the bitrate back down. Boom, boom, boom,
Please hold. Your bitrate is being reduced. Do you have to hit apply? Oh.
That's what I'm doing.
Excuse me.
Okay, so maybe that'll be good.
Okay.
I'll turn it down a little bit.
Okie dokie.
Alrighty. What you got? What do you think?
I don't know. I talked about a bunch of stuff earlier. I did upload it to YouTube as well as Instagram.
Oh, okay.
I went live on Instagram.
That's very cool.
With myself for a very long time.
That's very nice.
And then someone strange entered the chat that was like, basically the username was like, I give everything to God or something like that. But I was like, I feel like you're a robot, because I had just mentioned, I was like, there's got to be somebody watching, like even from the CCP. Like, I just don't buy that no one's seeing this right now. And then within however long of me saying that, it was like,
oh, that's funny.
I trust God for, I_trust_God_for everything or whatever it was. And I was like, I don't think you're real. And then they left. And then one woman stayed. She was like, I'm real.
That's awesome.
So yeah. So that happened. But what?
Let me do one thing too.
Okay.
I just realized. That will help as well.
Okay. Cool. Maybe.
It should help for sure.
It just
that was the audio capture. It was still capturing audio.
But there's nothing to
even
capture.
though I closed Safari, it was still trying to capture audio.
And
it was like tracking it and stuff. So now we'll get some bandwidth back.
Cool.
That YouTube control panel is just freaking out. But it's okay.
Okay. So yeah. I talked about today on my live, I talked about like intuition and health, and because this one woman, she's like breaking out in hives on Instagram, so she wants to know what the remedies are. But like, I feel like all the guidance, at least that I was getting for her, was to check in and not read the comments, because the comments like contradicted themselves. There were a zillion different things, like, oh, you got to do this, oh, it's probably mold poisoning, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, which is just going to send you into a tailspin. So I was just, I sent her a direct message about what I thought she should do. Which is to do nothing.
That's awesome.
Which is to do nothing and actually check in and get quiet. And I told her to access that intuitive place, that peaceful place within herself, and she'll find the answer. And oftentimes it's nothing.
Yeah.
So I went on a whole like rant about all that today.
That's good.
Because it's so frustrating watching people like lose themselves in desperation, because it's twofold frustrating. It's frustrating to watch somebody like be broken out in hives and so desperate and turning to Instagram. Like, that's kind of weird to me. But then the other frustrating piece is the comment section, because those people aren't checking in with her feed. Like, what's God showing her? Like, instead they're like, oh God, she has hives. Like, I would do this. Like, if I were her, like it, like there's not even room to actually pull through what's here for her.
Yeah. It's just like their manic panic.
Exactly. because I told her, I was like, the comment section, there's like, it's so overwhelming, and there's like a sequence and timing to all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like, don't ignore all the suggestions, including mine.
Yeah.
So I don't know that she's ever going to see it, but her Instagram name is Organic Chaos.
Mm.
Why? That just feels like a recipe for disaster. I would never, never
Oh, that's funny.
make that my name. Holy moly.
Mm-hmm.
Or like the splendid easy life. Like, I would never do something like that either.
Mm-hmm.
You're just destined for hardship.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of where I was at earlier today, but I don't know that I have too much else either. Do you guys have any questions or things you want to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
Who else is here besides, who are the voyeurs? Out yourself. You know what's fun to say is that, oh, I can see who the voyeur. I actually saw your name pop up. YouTube will show you who's
Mm-hmm.
just being a voyeur. And they go off, they drop immediately.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best. Mm-hmm. Yeah, anyone have any like pressing personal things that you would never want to disclose on the internet, but you're willing to for the sake of the stream? I think that's a reasonable question. Hi, Ben.
Hello, hello.
Just gonna have to play music. You have to get your guitar and a wig, and then you'll have to play the intro.
What do you mean? Play the intro?
Like, well, you'll have to write
I'll have to
song.
write an intro song.
Yeah.
That will play every time.
Yeah. But then you live. Like, you're gonna have to play it every time because it slows down too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder who the fourth voyeur is.
It's all right.
Just curious.
OBS is bothering me.
Okay.
It's all right. I also have to figure out the settings. I don't think they're dialed in.
Is it bothering you guys? Should we begin again?
Begin again, as in I stop and then tinker with it for 3 hours and then we go
No.
on later?
Tinker with it for 3 hours.
Well, I need to do research and I need to look deeper into OBS settings and figure out what they all do and then...
No. I'm just talking like, zoop, and then we begin again. With no music this time.
Well, it does. I won't change anything.
What? Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, I think that'll change everything.
I don't think so.
Huh.
But Emil says the lag isn't so bad now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I
personally don't mind.
Oh, I said it's a probably. I probably don't mind.
No, I just need to figure it out later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
Well, aside from that,
Mm-hmm.
can you think of anything to talk about?
OBS settings are top of mind right now. We could discuss OBS. What's your bitrate for OBS? I was fucking with it. It auto-populated at like 1650 or something, which I thought was so crazy. So I upped it. Right now it's at 3000.
What does that even mean? Is higher better?
Bitrate is the amount of the size of the video that it's sending to YouTube. So it's more of a function of your internet speed than anything else. So if you have like as long as you have like a 20 megabits per second internet upload speed, which is pretty standard, then you can do a 10,000 bitrate video, no problem. But I don't know to what degree it impacts the lag. I think the lag is the processing power. So something's just kind of not working right.
Okay.
And then that has to do with the encoding, which is how OBS is transferring our audio and video into a video package that then it sends. and you can go like very fast encoding, and you can change some settings and whatnot. I don't know if we would go to like 720p, or like I don't know exactly what I would tinker with to make this better. But I also updated OBS, and I don't know if that was a terrible idea.
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But yeah. But it says our CPU's at 36%, which is not. It's not like it's crazy. I mean, that's pretty high, but it's not crazy. So I'm not sure. There's actually another setting I can turn on to make OBS high priority for computing power. I think I'll do that. There's some things I already kind of know, but I need to just get in there. No, I don't know where to find. I don't want to just sit here and tinker. That'd be like a boring stream.
We are not in the business of boring.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. All right. Well, how do we not be boring?
I don't know. That's all I got. That's all I got on the brain is OBS.
That's all you can think about?
That's kind of all I had on the brain when you wanted to go live too, though, because I was trying to figure this out.
Yeah, but my whole thing is like, well, let's just see what happens.
Yeah, let's just
Which makes David
stumble into failure.
Butt pucker. Stumble into failure. Story of my life. That'll be my memoir.
Well, this just raises the stakes, but it solves nothing. You know what
raises
I mean?
the stakes.
Yeah, it just makes me having to figure it out more important. And
well, that's good. Maybe that's top priority.
Yeah, but it was already what I was doing. You know what I mean? This just makes it so I have to do it live.
With an audience.
Yeah.
A live audience.
Yeah. Live audience just watches me struggle with software. That's okay. Let's see what's here.
I don't feel like I have anything. You guys can throw topics in the ring. So then I'll definitely have an opinion. We can save deep existential questions for something more private.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that there's much in the queue.
Could talk about our bit rate again. Well, Ben, great question.
Is another pulse coming soon? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there'll be another one very soon.
Oh, yeah. It's the second. That's a good question.
It's a good question.
Pulse. Do you want to explain what the pulse is?
I guess so. The Pulse is our membership where B does a live channel meditation. Not live, but it does channel meditation every month. So there's like a more current meditation versus in the past I've done meditations and it was kind of boring. Like it was great for a few months and then the meditation was like, oh, this is okay. And I guess we can leave it up. But it seems like the meditation just kind of goes stale after a little while. So it was cool to have that kind of regular pulse.
We were also thinking about other names that we could name it, like the Throb.
Yeah, Miriam thought that one was great.
I love that one. Welcome back to the Throb. Settle in.
Ben says, any reselling, thrifting, or eBay stories?
That's a good question. Do we have any? We got through most of our clothes, but then we did go out the other day and purchase. You know what does well, surprisingly, is like FedEx jackets and Amazon jackets, like winter jackets, like from the companies. Those do really well. So David found an Amazon and 2 FedEx jackets. We haven't listed them yet, but I just think it's so interesting, and because there's such good like apocalyptic end of the world jackets to have, because it'll get you in places, and I like that. But you'd also look kind of weird if it's like summer and you're wearing your like winter FedEx coat.
Sure.
But it's a good survival like not survival, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if things go actually apocalyptic, they're probably useless. Because I don't know
Well,
that
no one's going to
Amazon would be delivering.
Then you'd be so
like out
conspicuous.
there, it's like Mad Max. Yeah, everyone's wearing like Burning Man attire, and you're out there just
your
in
Amazon
your
jacket.
Amazon jacket. Yeah, just trying to blend in. But yeah, I know we thought about keeping it. We got that Amazon jacket. We're like, should we keep this?
I know.
This is like a cool. It's kind of like a high vis vest. Like if you just wear a high vis vest, you can essentially get it anywhere.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, Amazon's a good one. And then the FedEx jacket. We have 2 FedEx jackets and an Amazon.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. But they sell unbelievably well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're worth like $60 or something. Sometimes more.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great.
Totally worth it.
It's great.
And you pay like $1 or $4 for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of it. We haven't really gone out thrifting because we just still have so much to get through. We have a lot of hard goods to get through. Like we have like a bunch of baby stuff, like the bottle sanitizer and the like walkies. Those sell really well. The like baby
monitor.
Baby monitor. That's what they're called. Baby walkies.
Yeah, those two. Come in, Mom. Come in. Shit my pants. I'm having a real fucking hard time over here.
10-4.
Come in.
Over and out. Okay, so not walkie, but that. And I'm trying to think what else we have for random, like, oh, you know what else sells well is Build-A-Bears, but like just specific ones, like Build-A-Bears that aren't bears. Build-A-Bears that are other animals. And then there's like, and then it goes like even deeper. Like there's like exclusive Build-A-Bear stuffed animals that sell even better out of the non-bears. So we've learned that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a whole different world. Reselling is like surprising to me. It's always surprising to me what people are interested in. Because I'm like, this is the thing?
Yeah, the things that have value versus don't are fascinating.
Like value. Like
value. In the actual marketplace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there are some cool things. Like Miriam found me this vintage jacket. It's a sweater. It's a red sweater. And it has these like not shoulder pads, these elbow pads on it. They're like suede.
Yeah. Yeah. Suede elbow pads. It's really nice.
Very cool. And it looks like it's like one of those things that would be worth money, but they're just like not enough of them. And it's not really a known brand. So you can maybe find like one other thing kind of like it online, but nobody's searching for it. So even though it is cool and it's arguably a better piece than most other vintage things that we find, it's not quite it. Like it needs to be vintage, but also like well known enough that people are looking for it.
Yep.
So it's really fascinating.
Yep. I know.
Yeah.
Let me look in your closet.
Well, yeah. Well, there's just a feed over there.
Oh, you're picking up a feed. You're picking up the feed.
I think it might be in my closet.
The eBay thrifting feed.
Well, it is funny because we were talking about this with the eBay stuff and how, I don't know, it's kind of skewing our sense of value in a way.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels so different, and I don't know why. It seems like we're seeing like a different side to money doing this eBay stuff.
I know. I don't know how to explain it. But I typically care less, but now I care even less. And it all just feels like fun. And it feels like even more fake.
Yeah.
I guess is the thought behind it all. Like it feels, money feels even more made up than it usually does.
Yeah.
Ooh, crazy hair.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know how to explain it either.
I know, it's just a feeling.
I mean, certainly we don't give a fuck about clothes anymore.
That's true.
I mean, we like upgraded our closet, I guess. I mean, we have like...
Oh, we did ourselves good.
But it's funny because like I also don't care enough with the really nice pieces. I don't care enough to keep them anymore. Whereas like my closet's very different than it would have been if we weren't doing this. Like I would have wanted to find things that were nice
Yeah.
But now I want to find things that are nice but hold no value in the marketplace. It's funny because it just kind of doesn't matter
Yeah.
anymore. The like prestige, I
Yeah.
guess, of clothing is wearing off in a way that I didn't think it would. Like the pleasure of having nice things, that I guess that's gotten so skewed because the
You can,
prices are all over the
right.
place.
You can get a nice, like,
You
you can
can,
get a
yes,
100% cashmere sweater for $1. Like,
yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah,
Or, like, even less if you go to the bins.
yeah,
Like, it's like, because if they do it by weight,
yeah,
like, it's so interesting. Because you can get really nice pieces, but the money doesn't, it's like, it's so warped.
yeah.
And then it's kind of fun to just, I mean, like, I'll just keep this sweater until I don't want it anymore.
Yep.
And that's kind of a nice thing, too. And then I can just turn around and resell it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I do that with a lot.
Yeah, there's something in there with money. I don't know that I've thought about it in a while, so I don't know how great I'll be at articulating it. But it feels related to the thread of how like value and money are very different things, and I think we forget that. It's very obvious, and we know that. Like we know that like a stay-at-home mother doesn't get paid anything to be a stay-at-home mother, but it's like one of the most valuable pieces of society.
Not in this country. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And we know that like a friend helps us to move, and that obviously has value, but there's no exchange of currency. There's just
A pizza party and some beers.
sure. There's just yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Versus the thing, and those are things I think honestly we tend to value even more than the things
Yeah.
we pay for, right?
Yeah.
Like how frivolous so many purchases are. It's weird trying to parse out, especially as a spiritual person, that like once I think most spiritual people have some trouble with money because of this problem, because like actual value and the things that matter the deepest, especially on a soul level, often don't translate directly to the marketplace. So it's interesting seeing like the things that people pay for, but also the things that people don't really give a fuck about. Yeah. I think the reason why I think about it is because, you know, we're at a place, I guess, in our work, not even as much in our life. I've been thinking about it for our life for a long time, but the more so in like the far edges of the work where it's about your life's work, right? And it's about bringing through this intelligence of your life's work. And a piece of that often is like structuring something that's monetizable. I think often there's a piece of it, but it's not even the primary piece of it. And I think that's something that I'm still teasing apart. Is like, I'm thinking about someone we're currently working with, and her life's work is not directly monetizable,
Right.
at least not right now, and it may not be for a very long time, but it's the single most important thing that's here for her, and there's really no way around it, and there's nothing that she could do to like exchange it for like a better life's work or like a more monetizable life's work. And I think about us too, and like this work, and there's obviously things that we could do to monetize more, fucking obviously. But then the thing that feels most here is to do eBay and just to like essentially pull money out of the equation even more.
Yep.
And it's weird how little I value clothing and eBay, like on a deep soul level, how here it still feels and how it takes care of the money equation and it makes our reality configuration work to some degree. But the things that I care the most about, like I'm having to untether even more from money.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
Like it's like there's something in all of that that I'm still kind of parsing through that I don't entirely understand yet. I don't have a great way to explain it yet. But like we were talking about it, how I think most people when they're searching for their life's work, they're thinking about a business structure.
Hate it.
And if you
Yeah.
think about it from the perspective of a business structure,
You
you're going to get
lose.
lost as fuck. Yeah.
Game over.
Because immediately you're plugging into the marketplace, but like the marketplace doesn't really give a fuck about your life's work.
No.
Not directly. And it's significantly harder to launch something new that the population doesn't already know about
Exactly.
than to launch something that's
Yes.
like that there's a
Space
pre-existing
Bubbles
market
candy. That was a
Space Bubbles candy.
prime example for me.
Yeah.
Handing out freeze-dried candy to motherfuckers for free and seeing their face light up. They knew exactly what it was. Even if they didn't know exactly what it was, they know what candy is.
Yeah.
And that shit fucking, I was like, oh, I can literally, I feel the windfall of cash for doing Space Bubbles candy, for going to markets and doing that this summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of don't want it. Not because I don't want the money or whatever. It's not even, but it's just like, it's like this. It's like too easy. It's like this. I don't even care about this. This isn't the thing I care the most about.
Yes.
And here I am, like, making ass loads of fucking cash, like fist over fist. Like, we will go over numbers when we get there. Like, that shit's gonna fly. And it's so weird. Because I give zero fucks about it. I'd rather spend my entire time talking about intuitive access, your own connection to divinity, how that works throughout your life, why your life is good and okay, and there's actually nothing wrong with you. I'd rather get into all of those places.
Yeah.
And I do still. That hasn't stopped, and that won't stop. But like, it's just, it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Because under the thread too of your life's work, like, we do think as spiritual personal development junkies, former or whatever, we think life's work, and we think it's the thing we're supposed to be doing that makes us money. But oftentimes your life's work is to be a fucking person, untether from the collective field, have your own goddamn opinions, stand in them firmly, and like do whatever you're guided to do. Like, life's work isn't this like fantasy thing that we have been holding on to for all these years of where we think we're going to be, filling stadiums and doing
it's
whatever
not some
the fuck.
coaching business.
No, zero.
Yeah, it's not as typical like personal development or spiritual.
It's not an ebook. Company. It's not any of that shit. It's not a fucking ClickFunnels. Fuck. It gets so twisted. And people are like, I just want to do my life's work. It's like, yeah, you're doing it. Like, untethering from the bullshit. Like, your life's work right now is to become an actual individual. We don't have those here.
Yeah.
And like, will you ever do your quote unquote like life's work as seen by a business model and a coachy coach or whatever the fuck people think it is? Probably not. And can you be okay with that? Can that fantasy, can that dangling carrot, can that false utopia just fucking burn? And just do the things that are genuinely here? And it doesn't matter. Like, eBay, it doesn't fucking matter. We'll do eBay until we don't do eBay. Like, it means nothing.
Yeah.
But like, what it's building behind the scenes within us is fucking cool.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the thing, right? Like, you have to be able to let go of what you think this is going to look like as a life's work, because at some point you may be doing something like that, but like, how the fuck do you really know? And it's not really in your control at all, right? And like, that's the hard pill to swallow we've been talking about, I mean, recently, is like, you're giving up so much control by walking this intuitive life that it's not really about figuring out what's coming and then building it.
No.
It's not really how it even works.
No.
You're going to be following the exact sequence that you're following now, and you're going to hope that it goes to some place of like prestige or social status. But by the time you get there, you won't really give a fuck about prestige or social status anyway.
Exactly.
So it's, it's like, what does that even really matter? And by the time you get there, you want to really give a fuck about money in the same way. So what does it really matter, right? It's like it's easy to say things like, okay, how will God utilize this skill set of mine? And like, how can I be best positioned to help the greatest number of people that have the greatest, largest impact while I'm here? It's easy to say things like that. But
but no.
No, and I think it's honestly true, but the calculation is not by you.
It's skewed.
You're not the one making that calculation, and it's also not by the marketplace, right? Like, other people also aren't making that calculation. Like, it's not the thing that is valued most in the marketplace, because the thing that's valued most in the marketplace are like Jojo Siwa bows and fucking like old vinyl records, and like it's like shit like that. Like, that's what's valued, not like the deepest soul truths that we're being called to bring through, at least not right now. So like, maybe at some point the collective will go there. Maybe at some point we'll have some role to play. But right now, and maybe for the next fucking 30 years, who knows, we're going to be playing the role of following the sequence as we're getting it, and we have to be okay with exactly where that goes, regardless of whether or not we're building something actively that then monetizes and builds some business.
Exactly.
Because we're on this journey to trust divinity and to bring through who we actually are and be ourselves in the world, not to build some monetizable thing.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I think it gets skewed. I think the intentions are good when the thoughts
Yeah,
like, "Oh, how do I help the most people? How can I like God
of
use me?"
course.
blah blah blah, all that stuff. But it's like there's just this underlying feeling of like being bigger than you actually are.
Hmm.
Like the social status or the whatever it is. But it's like no, like you're I don't know. I just feel like on this path like you're a piddly squat person, ideally following God and trusting that that is perfectly good. Like I think those false ideas of who we think we are, they're just so skewed. They're not accurate. Because I think there's a hard-hitting truth in it of like what if you never become the thing you think that you were promised a decade ago? By your intuitive knowing, by your vision, by your sight. What if that doesn't actually happen? Can you still follow what you're getting? Like, what if you do live this rinky dink life all the way till the end? Can that be
Hmm.
okay? Can you be satisfied with that? Like, can
Hmm.
you trust that you followed God the whole time, or are you going to make this whole path wrong? Like,
Hmm.
there's a real grappling that happens, and I think there's
Hmm.
a lot that has to unwind.
Yeah,
And the whole idea of life's work, I think it is massively misunderstood.
100%. Because, okay, here's the way I'm thinking about it right now. If we think about money as things that the collective values, if we look out and we ask, what is the collective value? And does the collective value who you are about to become? The answer is probably not really.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's a problem already, right? Like that's a monetary problem already. Like if money equals things that the collective currently values right now in this moment, and we feel into the collective field and we go, ooh, yeah, I can't be any of that, then we're like that is us becoming money. Do you know what I mean? Like that path
Yeah.
is us becoming things that are valuable as seen by money because money is the current collective value.
Mm-hmm.
So like there has to be something in the equation, at least when I'm thinking from God logic, there has to be a piece of the equation that's how can we use the least amount of bandwidth as possible to take care of the money equation so that we can keep our reality configuration stable and do what's actually important. Because the things that are actually important are us becoming free. That's the
Yeah.
number one priority. And that might take fucking 50 years. Who the fuck
Mm-hmm.
knows? That might take a long ass time for
Right.
us to actually be as free as we know we can be. But that's top priority. What we can do with that after that, it's hard to even know, but we have to get there first. And there's no way that we can get there by chasing money because money is the thing that the collective currently values. Like money is inherently tied to the collective field.
Yep.
Like that is that path. And that's why we struggle so much with this. Because it's easy to go, yeah, like I don't want to be the things that the collective thinks I should be. Like peer pressure, that stuff's easy. Like a fucking middle schooler understands that. But even there, it's so tempting to go, okay, but how do I make as much money as possible, as quickly as possible, by being my fullest, truest soul self? And that's a weird equation.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird question
Yeah.
to even ask because when you look at it, money and the collective field aren't that different.
Mm-mm. It was shocking to me, honestly, to see how the space bubbles thing just popped something in my brain
Yeah.
because I was like, oh, this is easy. Like, this is dumb. Like, I don't
Yes.
like this. Like, this
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, it's so, it just feels dirty. Like, if it's like, ugh. Like, I can, obviously, there's elements of fun too, and
Mm-hmm.
we're going to have a blast and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, there's just this, like, it's like so, ugh. Like this is what you guys light up about is fucking sugar. Like you're not
Mm-hmm.
lighting up about
Mm-hmm.
like real fucking truth or like we can't talk like some shit and like get in there like you're running the other way. Like it's like man, like it's just a slap in the face of where we actually are. I guess that's what feels dirty about it is this it's
Sure.
just to reiterate the same
Sure.
point. It's the fact that like whatever is the poppin brand on eBay and it's like wait but this is 100% polyester and this is the thing that people
Yeah.
are seeking. Like don't
Yeah.
they know the benefits of wearing cotton and linen and wool and like polyester but like plastic, like you're wearing plastic like oh okay sure. I mean
Yeah.
and then it's like letting ourselves as spiritual intuitive people live within that world that is actually existing here
Exactly.
because I think we don't want to.
Exactly.
We like want to disassociate from it or like, well, not in my reality. Like
Yeah.
only cotton allowed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, there's an element of engaging with the world again. I mean, it's at least as we're getting pressed into it, that's accepting where people are actually at, and not making it wrong at all. And like, it's not even like a fucking spiritual, like, I don't make you wrong, brother. Oh, it's like oh, okay, like this is exactly where people are. So like me doing this means nothing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yep.
Like, okay, cool. So this takes care of the money equation and it's relatively low bandwidth. Like, okay, great.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And there's no net negative in, I mean, eBay.
Same with candy. I mean, it already exists here. I didn't
Yeah,
create
exactly.
fucking Skittles. They're
Exactly.
already here. The red
And
dye
you're not
40's
changing
here.
people's sugar intake.
No.
Certainly not
If
substantially.
anything, it would be less, ideally. Because you.
Ideally, but just no. You're not changing people's sugar intake. You're not making it better or worse. Like you're plugging into the thing that's already here. But
They're so fun.
yeah. And this is interesting, right? Because there's a whole other layer of this. Because back when we were in California, the thing I disliked the most about the people's perspective around me, why we eventually ended up leaving and just not fucking looking back, was because we took a more radical stance than all of this quote unquote spiritual people around us.
Hold on. I did look back once when I wanted to go to that party.
Sure, but it's metaphorical.
Okay.
We took a completely different stance than all of the people around us, because we said, no, what our intuition's guiding us to do is more important than these business structures and building wealth for ourselves. Like that, like we don't value building a business over our intuitive connection to divinity. Like we can't do that.
I know.
And what everyone else around us would say, and the way they would talk about it, was, well, you need to let the spiritual take care of the spiritual, but like these beings and God, and they wouldn't even really say God. These beings and the light and the universe doesn't understand
money,
the physical things, and doesn't understand money. So you need to be grounded enough. That's how they would phrase it. You need to be grounded enough to take care of your own things on the ground floor, and then you can plug in from that grounded tree with deep roots. Then when the spirit comes, you don't get blown into the wind, right? That's the idea, is like deep roots and strong. Hurricane fucking Ian, I'm gonna fucking withstand the strongest gale force winds of Gaia, whatever. But it's funny because when you keep going, at some point, it's not that you need to manage all of that stuff. It's that you realize that all of that stuff is already being managed by divinity.
Exactly.
And it's not even, because the process in the middle, like if we look at pre-spiritual awakening, we were pretty stable. Everything was pretty good. We were just doing what everyone else was doing. Everything was fine. Then there's that whole pocket where divinity essentially strips you from the world and goes, you got to let go of all of this stuff. And it's like God kind of pulls you into the equivalent of going into the mountains and living by yourself, like a true hermit. Yep. Like divinity pulls you into the life of a true hermit.
Yep.
But then at some point, divinity goes, okay, now you're free enough. We need to send you back down the mountain to go back into the world. And there, that stuff is still happening in your life. Like you're still engaging with money. You're still doing business, still fucking all of the neutral shit that's boring as fuck, but that we're still guided to do. But divinity's managing it. And that's the difference. Like that's the difference between what everyone was trying to get me to do, of like, well, just, ground deep, son. Deep roots, tap into the...
Like Brian Brusa?
Yeah. This is what Brian Brusa would encourage me to do.
Do you think we should call him in?
No, I'm trying to make a point. God damn. But there's a big difference between what Brian Brusa would tell me to do and where this thing is going. And the difference is that it's being 100% managed by divinity. But there is a loss of control, and there is a degree of trust that is so different than anything I've ever experienced. And I can tell I'm getting pressed into it more and more every single day. There's a deeper layer of trust in health. There's a deeper layer of trust in finances. There's a deeper level of trust in like even down to the basics of like sitting down and doing a live but having zero fucking structure and fucking having our bit rate set fucking all wrong, so that's, like, even just in the guidance of like, okay, yeah, that feels right, to go on and shoot a stream before things are done. Like, it's like, okay, like, great, fucking let's go,
I was surprised you said yes, honestly.
yeah, because there's a deeper layer of trust and faith and just rolling with it that I can tell is being required of me, and it's spilling over into everything, and it spills over into money, and it spills over all of it. But that's the place that ultimately divinity is trying to get us to, is relinquishing complete control to the thing that we already think would run our lives better. Like, in our worldview, God is already so much better at all of this than we could ever be. Why the fuck would we not offload everything?
Right.
Why? Because we're scared? Because we don't completely buy it? Because we want to hedge our bets against it? It's like, are we trying to keep 10% in fucking gold and bonds because we're scared that the God market's going to crash? Maybe. But at some point, we have to pull all of our money out and put it all into God. We have to pull all of our cards out and put it all into God, because it's the only way that we can manage this thing. It's the only way that we can actually do it.
Yep.
And that's where you get into all these hard-hitting truths, like, to come back full circle. That's where you get into every single bit of that nuance, where it's like, fuck, I really don't want to be doing this. Like, I don't want to be doing space bubbles. I don't, like, this eBay doesn't matter. Like, this isn't valuable. Like, like, how can I stand behind the things that I'm being guided to? Those are the things you really run into.
I know.
Is I'm being guided to things that I don't know that I completely value.
I was having an obvious meltdown about space bubbles. That was really hard for me.
Yeah.
Like, a huge identity crisis. I was like, who am I? I have tinctures and, like, I support Red Dye 40.
Yeah. But yeah, you have to be able to get to the place where you have to understand this is where we are.
Yeah. And the guidance has to be more important than whatever my body thinks about my opinions about the world. Because even, I didn't get into this on my live earlier today, but a similar thread too with, like, root canals and all that stuff. I was talking about, like, teeth, and I have an implant in my tooth, and, like, those are bad. Root canals are bad. Implants are bad. Like, if you get them, you got to get them out. Like, and it's just like, what the fuck? Like, why would I have gotten the guidance to get it in the first place then? Like, and why am I not getting this same panicked guidance when I watch your slew of videos that scare the bejesus out of you if you have a root canal from all these professional doctors and blah, blah, blah. Like, why am I not getting that when I check in? Like, why is it fine that I have fucking pig graft skin in my mouth? Like, like, oink, oink, bitches.
Because
like,
Big Daddy paid for it.
Big Daddy. David did buy me my tooth. Oh, is that you got something in the tooth I bought for you? Big Dad. But he also had a note in his phone that said Miriam owes me $700.
No, I was keeping track of all the money I was spending on you at the very beginning. I was just keeping track, just like, in a note, just for fun.
This is not happening.
Just for fun.
Just for fun.
I know, and then you saw it, and you're like,
I was like, wow, he's really tit for tat. We're doing tit for tat here.
Yeah.
It's like, man. But anyway, there's just the reality of, like, okay, this is where we live. Like, we live here. Like, people do get root canals. Like, it's okay. Like, are you going to have health complications? I don't know. Maybe. Like, like, can you trust what you're getting? If you're guided to get your tooth fixed and that's the solution, then is that okay? Like, there's just so much time making everything wrong. And, like, I don't like it. And, like, taking everything so seriously, and, like, oh my God, everything. It's too much. It occupies too much of your mental bandwidth. Yeah. It's like, we got to just let some stuff go.
Yeah. Because it's a really unique kind of hell to offload our decisions to God and then to still try to figure out whether they're okay.
And then argue it. What a fucking waste.
Yeah. It's a really unique kind of hell. And honestly, it's something that divinity amplifies and tries to make as uncomfortable as possible.
what
because
I
of
said.
how stupid it is.
That's what I said about the girl with the skin stuff going on. I was like, this is all pressing in on her so she can figure out what to do for herself quietly, not from the comment section. I was like, and then she's fucking not going to get it. She's going to fucking spin into a manic cycle, and then God's going to be like, fuck, bitch didn't listen. Got to run it back. Run it back. Let's give her
That's how God sounds, by the way.
Let's give her chlamydia next time.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. I didn't say that. But it's like, it's like run it back. She's still not getting it.
That's funny.
I don't know.
Just your version of God's really funny. Oh, this bitch didn't get her. Give her the clap.
We're going in with chlamydia. Come on.
Funny.
That's just what it feels like. It's like, oh God, you're not getting it.
I understand.
It's just hard to watch. But it's everywhere. Like another thing. It's like, okay, so this is where we are. This is how people operate. This is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hard-hitting truths about reality. That's been a good one. Yeah, and then there's just this element too of being able to stand in what you're getting. So like if people are like, "Oh, you shouldn't get a root canal, root canals are really bad." It's like, "Okay, well I got one." Cuz I checked in, cuz that's what you fire back to those fucking assholes that are experts and know the most on the internet for the holistic lifestyle. You say, "No, I fucking got one. I got a root canal and I'm good with it cuz I asked God and God said, "Get the fucking root canal." So I did.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of like I'm looking for from intuitive people.
Yeah.
Like you can't say, "Oh, I'm so intuitive and I always trust my intuition." It's then fucking act like it. Because if you acted like if you did what you were getting and you acted like it and owned it, it'd be a whole different ballgame. Insecure intuitives wouldn't fucking exist.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be bouncing shit off people like, "Oh, so I checked in." This is my example. I checked in and, I know stinging nettle's good for hair, but all I got was to just do chamomile. It's like, okay, then just do chamomile. It's like, yeah, but maybe I missed it. No, you didn't. Like, fuck. You literally got a message from God. And now you're asking me?
Yeah.
You're asking me if your message from God is right? Like, what the fuck is that? See where we live? See how fucked up it is that your feed can just instantly get crossed? I'm not okay with that.
Yeah.
And all these fucktards that want to tell you what to do on the internet with your health and or with anything otherwise, what they ought to be saying, which they will never say because it won't make them money, is because it's not attached to an affiliate link. But what they actually need to say is, what did you get when you checked in? Is it here for you to buy the red light therapy light? Is it here for you to get this? Did you check in? Get quiet about it. The answer will come to you. Don't worry. No. They're like, "Oh yeah, here's the holistic dentist in your area. This is a link. This is where I found mine. Yeah, I got those fillings out right away." And no. Panic, spiral, cash, cha-ching. You lose. The only person that loses there is you. And then what you learn from that lesson is that you should have always trusted yourself and there was actually nothing you needed to do. Because oftentimes we are meant to do nothing and just be with the intensity, for fuck's sake. But people don't want to.
Yeah. Because most of the things we're stressing out about matter almost zero.
Literally. You zoom out like 3 days and the matter is gone. It's like, oh, oops.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense why we're all so insecure, because we're told by the world that we need to figure out everything by ourselves. That's how we're trained, is to figure out everything all on our own and to find the answer and to go act on it. And those that act on it the quickest and the best are praised. But when you really try to figure it all out on your own and figure out what's actually best for you in your life and what's best to do with your health and your wealth and your relationships and your spirituality, you don't know shit. And you realize it very quickly that you don't know shit. And that feeling of not knowing shit is spooky. It's terrifying if you have to figure it all out on your own, because it means that you don't know enough to make good decisions. And it's weird coming to the same conclusion that you would come to anyway, right? But like you come to that
Mm-hmm.
conclusion and then you go, fuck, I better figure it out. But ideally you come to that conclusion of like, oh, I don't know shit about this. Like I don't know what to do with my health. I don't know nearly enough about this. And you go, okay, well then I guess I should just trust God.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally that's where we end up, but we
Right.
don't. And
We
I don't know
don't.
why we take on that extra responsibility of, okay,
Mm-hmm.
now I got to go and do like a little research project and figure this out
Mm-hmm. Look at
based on
PubMed
the
studies.
consensus.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. The only reason why we would do that is if we didn't believe in God.
Right.
And it's a weird thing to talk about because there are so many people that believe in God in quotes. But at the end of the day, I think there are very few people that actually believe in God. There are very few people that bet their life on it.
Exactly.
Very, very, very few people that bet their decisions on it.
Mm-hmm.
And the further you go down that line of what are you willing to bet on the fact that God is real, the smaller the percentage of people get that are actually believe in God.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you willing? Like, are you willing to look stupid for saying that you believe in God? Lots of people are. Lots of people are.
Yeah.
So many people are. Like fucking more than half of Americans are. Like, oh yeah, I believe in God. Of course I believe in God. They're willing to look stupid to people who don't believe in God. But you keep going. Like, are you willing to bet your financial stability
It's
on
the
God?
money thing. It's always the money
Mhm.
thing. Because you can like turn left or turn right and be intuitive about your turns for the day or which grocery store you go to get the sale.
Exactly. And some people won't even do that. They'll believe in God. They'll believe in their intuition, but they won't get a ping and listen to it.
Right.
They won't even do that. But then you're right. Then you go even further,
Mm-hmm.
and it starts imploding.
Oh,
Their whole worldview starts
immediately.
imploding.
Well, and especially with money. Money is the great one. I
Mhm.
just fucking love it. I just love it. I love the further I go into this life and experience money and no money and more money and less money and whatever it does, it goes all over the place. It's like it's so made up. It's so made up. And I can't help but see it over and over and over again. Like it's like we trust in God, but not when it comes to money.
Mm-hmm.
And that is so fascinating to me because wouldn't God be bigger than money? Like, wouldn't God be able to work through your life?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, how have we been so brainwashed
Mm-hmm.
by numbers on a screen? We're not even touching a physical, like, coin anymore. We're not touching, like, physical cash. Like, this is purely just numbers on a screen.
Yeah.
That spin us out into all sorts of crazed manic action to do massively out of alignment things. Like, it's like, whoa, they done good with this one. But to offload it to God is seen as irresponsible and
Mm-hmm.
like delusional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's seen as ungrounded
Yeah. By the spiritual community.
by the spiritual community,
Which is
exactly.
fucking awesome.
Exactly.
Oh, fuck all those people. That's great.
Yeah.
I just love it. I don't know. I just love it. It feels like actual financial liberation. Like, I feel
Mhm.
like I'm in the place where I'm like, whatever. The money's going to do whatever it does. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
What's here for me? Oh, making art of truth? Okay, cool. Am I selling them? Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Whatever. eBay? Nope. Nothing to do. Don't worry. Nothing to do today.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's not even like, oh, but I feel like I have to do something to make money. Because, like, what am I? Because that's how I used to be. Like, oh,
Yeah.
but all of that is gone. It's like, no, you're good, Miriam. Like, so good. Like, don't even entertain the bullshit. It's nice.
Yeah, it is nice. And it's nice to have that piece of psychology fortified enough to go there.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because I think truthfully, when it comes to money, if you were going to trust divinity 100%, and it got to a point where your life couldn't function anymore, like everything actually did implode and went to total shit, like not just bankruptcy, because I think bankruptcy, it goes further than bankruptcy, honestly. I think it goes bankruptcy, and then what, you start with a clean slate, and then like, would you run that into the ground? Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's the, or you can't, then maybe your credit's fucked up, so then you can't live somewhere, right? So then you have to move in with someone that you know, or you have to, like, what, or like homelessness?
Well,
Is that
yeah,
where it goes?
Maybe. But God always works through those situations
I
too.
know. And that's the thing, right? It's like, it's hard for me to imagine a scenario that would be bad enough that I would give up,
Mm-hmm.
truthfully. But even if that were to happen, like if we were to get to a place financially in our lives where things genuinely weren't going to function anymore, like we couldn't survive anymore somehow, if that reality were real somehow,
Mm-hmm.
I have bigger problems than that. Like if I'm there, I have way bigger problems than that, because that means God's not real. That means my perception of God's not real. And that is such a bigger issue to me than any sort of financial consequences or any sort of thing that could happen. Like even honestly, homelessness. The idea of homelessness isn't that bad, truthfully, to me.
I know.
It's not as bad as, I mean, I've been homeless before in California for a short period of time. A few weeks. I lived outside of a LA Fitness in my car, and then I went to Starbucks and got fucking hot water for my oatmeal in the mornings, and then showered in my LA Fitness because I had it was just a couple weeks. And then even after that, I was like living in someone's garage for a little while. It was like not great. But that doesn't really scare me. What scares me, truthfully, underneath that,
Right.
is the idea that God's not real. It's finding out that I'm
Mm-hmm.
wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But like the only way you ever find out if you're wrong is if you go for it, right? Because you live in this limbo where it's like, oh, well, I'm going to take care of it just the last second just to make sure. Like I'm going to go manically. And you never find out the truth. Like, is that really what we want?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, in a weird, sick and twisted way, I guess.
But
I'm
even
willing to.
still,
Mm-hmm.
well, when we were in Seattle and like half the population there is fucking homeless, like they had jobs, they were selling papers, like it's fully taken care of, fully supported, like doing their thing. There were also the ones slumped over addicts sleeping on the street.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you look at lots of homeless people on the street. I would say the large majority, and they're drug addicts, and they're on the street because they specifically want to be there. They're choosing to be there. They have iPhones. They appreciate the fucking benefits they get. They know how the system works, and they can't do drugs inside of a fucking four walls, so they'll do drugs in a tent. And like, what the fuck's the difference, really, if everything else is taken care of, and you go get meals, and like they're living cushy enough that they're like, okay, this sucks and it's uncomfortable in some ways. It's cold at night. My feet are cold, but like I get free fucking socks down. You know, it's like, okay, there's like I can do this. I think is where they end up. Yeah, it's not even what we think.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, then there's the whole other homeless population just trying to get out, and they're fucking just using the benefits, and they, you know, and they're out like selling papers, and they're out, they're making enough money, and they're coming up, and they got a real entrepreneurial spirit to them. They're bright in the eyes, like it's so different. Yep. Yeah, I don't know what we're afraid of, really. I really don't.
Well, we're afraid of. I mean, I've talked about this at length, but that's why the homeless population exists. That's what we're afraid of. We're afraid that if we don't pay our full balance off in time, or we're afraid that if we don't do our whatever the thing is, that we're going to end up like that. It jumps immediately to living in a tent on the side of the road, losing custody of your children. It goes to this like weird distorted place, but the benefits you don't even think of.
I know.
You don't even think of like the ladies that make the burritos every week and serve them out to you for free. Like you don't even think of like all the clothes that you get and all the, you don't think of any of that. You're just thinking that that's where you end up. And that image is purposefully and intentionally crafted, and it still exists here. We have no reason for homelessness. The reason why we have it is to keep people in line. It's psychological, like slavery, prison. I don't even know what you would call it. Yeah. Enslavement. Yeah. It's like psychological enslavement. It keeps the good people working so they never end up like that. And then everybody's threshold is so different. Like some people like, oh, my account's below 20K. Like, fuck. Like, fuck. No, we need to really cut back on spending this month. Like, I don't have blah, blah, blah. Other people, it's like, oh, shit, I got $20. Like, fuck. Other people let it go fucking negative. And they're like, well, I was listening to this guy last night on a podcast, and he's like, yeah, I bet 5K on the Super Bowl a couple years ago. My account went negative, and then he won like 40 gambling or whatever. And he's like, I was like, oh shit, if I didn't win, I'd owe my bank $5,000. But it was just like, whatever. Like, yeah. So there's like, everyone has like, but it's so funny where your butt puckers. 'Cause like it's considered bad and wrong to owe the bank $5,000. but like also this guy's a former criminal convict, ex whatever, jail person. I don't know, ex prisoner. So like there's a little like rule bending in there that I just really appreciate. Yeah, it's important to see the edges of this reality that we're living in,
Yeah.
that's made up, the made up version of this reality. That's very important to see.
Yeah.
Because like the worst things that happen are you get like letters and phone calls.
Yeah.
And then you just don't answer them, and it doesn't fucking matter. But like it still pumps through your body. Like, oh fuck, I'm such a bad person. Maybe I'll call tomorrow. And then you don't. And it doesn't matter.
And then when you get guided to, things sort themselves out.
Exactly. Always.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was listening, Talia did a video about her and her husband. They have like perfect credit. It's like above the best kind of credit, whatever it is. Like it's between like 820 and 850 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they went to just to see what they would be approved for a car loan or something like that. And then it was like 10% interest. And she's like, wait, so this is what good credit, this is what not even good, this is what excellent perfect credit gets you. And they were like, well, you can lower it if you put down 20K. And they walked out. They were like, no, we're not doing that. But it's interesting because it's such a game. It's entirely made up.
Yeah.
And it does nothing, but people live by these rule sets to try to be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what does it really get you?
Yeah, and on the flip side, how bad does it really get? Because it seems to be more of a psychological and emotional torture than it is an actual survival threat.
Yeah, well, she was saying she spent it was so much stress on her nervous system just constantly worrying about her credit score. So did people in the comments. They were...
Yeah, I guess I mean on the flip side.
Yeah, tell me the flip side.
I mean on the flip side, like when things are very bad, it's not a real survival threat. Like money going to zero doesn't mean you die. It feels like it.
Right.
But money going to zero doesn't mean you die. It means you get very psychologically challenged.
Yep.
Like that's how our incentive structure is set up. Like collectively we have an incentive structure set up to where the lower you go toward zero, toward creating zero value for the collective as it currently sees it, the more psychological stress there's put on you to then do better. And there's more incentive as you go up to have better and nicer things and like nicer luxuries that are marketed to you in such a way where you think that'll make a bigger difference than it actually does.
Yep.
But it's a psychological game. It's not really a survival game. It just feels like a survival game, which is what creates the psychological game.
Yes. Yep. I know, it's fucking, I love it. I love this conversation.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, so good question, Ben. Any eBay stories?
Why, yes.
Yeah, this is good.
I know when I think of, I still want to talk about Space Bubbles candy.
Sure.
Making money from candy, like freeze drying candy, just changing the state. When I say it feels like dirty, it's like it feels, there is an element that feels gross, but I don't know exactly what I mean by that. Because I feel like I'm not describing it, like it's not translating the way that I am feeling it inside.
I think that word is incorrect.
But it feels like wrong.
Yes. And it feels wrong because where we are in our value system and the things that we see for the world and the ideal world as we would see it and as we hope God would eventually want to get it to isn't the world as it is right now. And to engage with the world as it is right now feels wrong because it feels so fucking behind and so twisted and so messed up.
Yeah.
That it feels like we shouldn't be able to even do what is neutral now because that actually should be bad. Like we've distorted the sense of what the world actually is to such a degree as spiritual people with our access. Like we can see the ideal future as God sees it, and we hold that to a standard of neutrality. And when you make that normal, when you make God's ideal future normal and not like ecstatically good, and when you make what's happening right now bad and not neutral, you live in a perpetual state of suffering. And you end up with a very skewed sense of where things actually are and a very skewed sense of what your place is in society.
Yep. 100%. That's it.
To the point where when you go to do something that's very normal and to most people is thrilling, like deeply, deeply exciting. Like, oh my God, this candy thing's so awesome and that's so cool. And you change it and it's different textures. And I'm not changing my candy intake at all. I'm gonna eat candy no matter fucking what. I eat like shit already, but like, wow, I get to eat this really fun and awesome thing instead. Like, when that's so fucking neutral to people.
Yep.
But when you engage with it, it feels wrong.
Yeah.
Because of how we live our lives and how we've structured our value system. And it's really, really fascinating. Really fascinating.
I know. And even just the fact, it felt like such a slap in the face because I was like, okay, well, I'll sell you organic candy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I fucking tried, but those shits don't blow up.
Yeah, the organic candy.
Because they don't have
terrible.
the corn syrup in them. They suck. And they suck to eat. It's not even a cool experience. Like, I'd rather have the red dye 40 and have the cool experience of the like dissolving candy.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Yeah. But like, you don't go to Walmart and get very angry at Walmart that the entire fucking store is all of that. You know what I mean? You don't go to the grocery store and get angry at the grocery store because the entire aisle section
grocery shopping
is what it is.
I'm always like, look at their cart. Look at their cart.
I know. I know that it's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. But it's like, there's not that same sense of like it being deeply wrong. I don't know.
Not in that way. No, I guess because it's like one for one engaging with it. Like, I am the face of Space Bubbles candy.
Sure. But I guess I mean, like, it's weird to, like, if you were to own a grocery store, you would feel like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it would be hard. It would be hard to buy and stock the shelves with the products that
people are going to buy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would not want fucking Cheez-Its. Cheez-Its are gross. If you like Cheez-Its, I think you're weird. They taste so burnt. I don't understand how people like Cheez-Its.
They do taste burnt.
They're disgusting.
I think they're decent.
I think you're weird.
They're not my preferred snack.
Okay, good.
Certainly not. I'd rather have like salt and vinegar chips.
Oh, that's your jam.
Or like, I used to really like sour cream and onion Pringles. That was like a taste that I could really get behind.
Can your hands fit in the Pringle jar?
No, I just dump
pour.
it upside down.
Yeah.
So, claw up in there.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But it's weird to hold ourselves today at a different standard than we would hold a grocery store. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't seem as wrong as when we hold ourselves to the same standard. Like, okay, well, what if you were running that grocery store? Then it's like, oh, fuck, I couldn't do that.
I know.
I couldn't stock it the same. I would have to only stock meat and eggs and milk.
Yeah, just the perimeter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We would have no middle aisles.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, that's weird.
We would have sourdough starters. We'd encourage everyone to make their own sourdough. Yeah. That's the only bread. Yep. Yeah.
And then you would go under. Right.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the reality of it. And that's
sure.
the hard reality of living where we are right now. Because money and the system that we have and the way that our society is structured, at least right now in this chapter of civilization before it collapses, money goes to things that people currently value.
Yeah.
And we know what people currently value. I mean, we see it.
And it's so different than what I value as a soul and even as a person.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so crazy to like play in the realm with people. I mean, that's how I feel with the HOA too. Like, my perspectives and opinions and all of that stuff is so different than the majority, I would say.
Yeah. And it sucks because it's like, if I had full control over the HOA, things would be like, I could maybe do more, you know? Mm-hmm. But that's the same feeling of like, if God had full control over the world, things would be better. It's like, yeah, no shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no shit, of course.
Yeah.
But like, that's what validates our belief system. That's what validates our whole fucking way of being. Like, like, it's good that the thing we feel inside is better than what's happening, because what's happening is darkness. Mm-hmm. If what was happening was good, our belief system would be fucked up and wrong.
Yeah.
Like, then we shouldn't be doing what we're doing. If what was happening is better than what we could do with God, then we should be dark, because darkness would be better.
Mm-hmm. That's a mind fuck. But yeah, I follow it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think we should clip this audio and put it up as a podcast.
We can.
Since the video is so laggy.
Yeah, we totally can.
Yeah, it's a good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's what you really helped me realize with space bubbles is like, I mean, you've said it for years and I hated it, but like about things being neutral.
Yeah,
I fucking hated that.
I know.
You're smiling so big
I
because you
know.
knew I hated it.
Yeah. Well, Ben hated it too.
Well, because it sucks.
Yeah.
Because it does feel like everything it is shit.
And everyone's retarded.
Yes.
I know. I know it feels like that. But our emotions are equally retarded.
Yeah.
And we have to know that our emotions are that retarded. Like when we feel that everyone's retarded, there's no fucking way that that's objective truth. There's no way.
I know it's weird to see people as like neutral, just like literal products of their environment. Like they're just like basic ass humans here.
Yeah.
They like it flags as nothing to buy a bag of Skittles and eat the whole bag.
No.
It's not. Maybe it's like I shouldn't have eaten all that.
Yeah.
But maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, I gotta brush my teeth tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But maybe, right? Like it's so. And then I feel like I'm over here like, oh my God, fucking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like making myself wrong in every which way.
Yeah. Oh my God, I forgot to take iodine today, and I only did 3 TRS sprays instead of 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we hold ourselves to a standard that's absurd. It makes no sense. As spiritual people, we have to hold ourselves to the standard of the standard American diet. We have to hold ourselves to the standard of the standard spiritual understanding and ideology.
I love the standard American diet spells sad.
Yeah.
I love that.
And if we held ourselves to the standard of what actual people were right now in this year, like right now, not fucking 2050, not what we feel intuitively would be ideal. If we held ourselves to the standard of where things are right now, we'd be okay.
We're sitting so fucking pretty.
Exactly.
Like golden.
Exactly. And that's what it's like to feel where we are in reality as it actually is.
Yes. Yes. That's been hard for me.
And that kind of clarity is unbelievably difficult for spiritual people because there are pressures like money that create a psychological tension that makes us feel fucking completely inept for doing things that are deeply, deeply aligned with God.
Yeah, not consensus. Yeah, it's hard to follow your intuition, especially when it comes to finances and everyone else around you is not validating what you're getting.
Yeah.
Because they're not pulling from your feed, because no one can pull from your feed except for maybe me and David. Shout out us. But I don't feel it out there. Like I see people giving such dog shit advice that has nothing to do with the person or their circumstance.
I know.
Like it's so fucked up.
Yeah, and I think the biggest compliment we get all the time is like, I already knew that.
I know. It's like good.
Good, then we're fucking good.
Perfect. Yes. Yes, then we're on the same page. Like we're good. Good. We're pulling from the same feed. Yeah, I love that.
Oh my God, that's what I got this week. Like, good.
That's what I got when I checked in.
Still got it.
I know.
Yeah.
But people aren't doing that. They get immediately caught up in their own shit. Or what they would do. Or it's so bananas to me that the immaturity of how things actually go here. And like the scripts that people run off of. There's, it's so layered. Not very deep, but it is layered. The layers aren't deep.
Yeah. I know that is funny that people put themselves in your shoes.
Immediately.
They handle my shoes much worse than I do.
100%.
So I would rather just stay in my shoes.
It's like, can you get the fuck out of my shoes, please? Yeah. Excuse me.
You're sticking up my shoes.
Yeah.
Can I have those back, please?
Yeah. I know. Sometimes I just like test and I'll like ask people like, so what do you think? Just to see what their access is like. Yeah. And it's so skewed. It's so like logic based and like just off and weird and like not what I'm getting at all.
Yeah.
And then like in a couple months, I'm like, then they'll realize what I said, but they will never say that I said it. It'll never be like, oh, Miriam, didn't you say this back in... It's like it emerges. It has to emerge in like a new bubble, a new thought bubble with other words attached to it.
Yeah, you more so like prime the neural networks through like brute force, and then when they're deep in their spin later, they think that it was an organic idea, and then it never links back to you for whatever reason.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah,
I think
often.
very much so.
Often.
I wasn't even thinking of it in like the mentoring aspect. I was thinking of it more so in the HOA. So it's funny.
I just generally,
but
I just think that's what you do
just
generally.
Both. It's everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I'm like, we talked about this already, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Yep, you got it. Sounds like you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Brute force. Brute. I feel like that would be a fun character to play. Brute.
Mm-hmm. And he has like a move, like a power up. Is he like a superhero?
Oh. I don't know. I didn't
like
get
in a
that
video
far.
game, like a video game superhero.
Oh.
So he goes brute force.
Precisely.
I think that would be pretty cool. Yeah, you'd be like 50 IQ, but just really strong. And then maybe like he has like a Neuralink helmet on kind of thing, or like like a magical like helmet on, but it's connected to like a wolf, and the wolf's really smart.
Oh,
the wolf's
so the wolf
like
feeds
200 IQ or something.
information.
Yeah. Yep. So then there's just a wolf that kind of like hangs back, and then controls Brute.
Wow.
I think that'd be cool.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is Brute a human? Like he has 2 legs?
Brute
and 2
is
arms?
probably like kind of like a Wreck-It Ralph, like a big
I
with
feel
like
he's
red
orange.
hair.
Oh.
Yeah, with like red hair, and I was thinking like kind of human-esque, but
Yeah, I thought his skin color was more orangey.
oh, could be.
Orange.
Like Trump.
Yeah. Yes.
Orange man, good.
But I see like a 6-pack and like stubby, like very like
yeah, like each 6-pack is like a bicep.
Yes. Yes.
Just very protruded.
Yes. Brute. I like him.
Brute. Thanks. Well, it was your idea too.
Thanks. That's awesome. That's cool. That's a good talk.
Yeah, I want to drill something home real quick while we're at the end here.
Drill it home.
Because I think the idea, we skimmed over it, but I think it's actually very important.
Okay.
The idea that you're going to run out of money and die
is laughable.
It's laughable, but it feels very intense. But if you were to really go there, financial circumstances would be the least of your problems. Yep. Because the reality of it is if you get to that place that you think is going to happen, God's not real. And if God's not real, you need to find out as quickly as possible. That's the way I think about it. If God's not real and I'm wrong,
your intuition is not true and valid.
Yeah, my intuition is not true and valid. And most people are correct about what this world is. I need to find out as quickly as possible. And it seems as though this force is trying to take me in that direction anyway. Right? Like I think that's most of our experience. It's like this force is actually trying to take us in that direction of what we think is crisis anyway. It's guiding us toward those pockets of our circumstances that make us freak the fuck out. So if that is actual chaos and destruction, like if we're really fucked up there and our life is like going to be ruined, we should go as quickly as possible so we can get it out of the way, so we can figure out whether this force is good or bad, so that we can validate our belief system or invalidate our belief system. And as scary as that sounds, I think it's the only logical conclusion that I can come to as a spiritual person who's made this very, very profound bet, huge bet on my intuition as I know it to be, and has tuned out 99.99%. Let's be real. I've tuned out 100% of the spiritual population.
That's true. He has. I tried to rope him in. He won't.
Yeah. As someone who's tuned out all of spirituality, all of personal development, and only trusts myself and this inner wisdom within me that I hope is an inner wisdom and is not an inner psychosis, the only conclusion I can come to is I need to find out as quickly as possible whether or not this goes to ruin. Because if it goes to ruin, I will be devastated, but not because of the ruin, because I can pick myself back up out of that fucking so quickly. I know how to get out of that so fucking quickly. So quickly. And there's plenty of resources. And if I need to be homeless, I kind of don't give a shit. Honestly, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I can get out of that pretty quickly. I know I'm smart enough. I can get out of that quickly. And in a way, that would kind of be a relief. It would kind of be a relief to go, oh, okay, like this isn't real, so now I'm done. Because at least it would be decisive. Like the time in between the two is the thing that just crushes into oblivion my emotional system. It's the doubting, it's the wondering, it's the second guessing.
Yep.
Like I want to get to that point where I go, okay, yep, this is either true or this is not true, and then be able to back it entirely. And I feel like I'm pretty damn close to being able to back it entirely. But it's like, even if I back it entirely, there's still this sense of risk. Like I'm still taking on the inherent risk of maybe this goes to shit like next week. Maybe this goes to shit in a few months. Maybe this goes to shit in a year. But like I have to back it 100% to even get to that point to figure it out. Because as long as there's even 1% of me that has the ability to override my intuition at all and make me think about my reality differently than what I'm getting, or make me act differently than what I'm getting, as long as there's any bit of me that isn't fully in, I'll never know. I'll never know. I have to go fully into the delusion, in quotes. That's what it feels like emotionally. I have to go full on in the delusion of my intuition is the voice of God. I'm good. I'm backed by God. Everything that I'm getting is dialed. I have to go full in on that because that's how I'm acting anyway. And when I go full in on that, then I can find out. If it goes to shit, then I'll be done. Then I'm done. And I'll let you guys know.
I'll let you know first on Instagram stories.
Yeah, probably. Probably. Yeah, and then I'll post a video that's like, arms crossed, I'm done. And then that'll just be the YouTube title. I'm done.
We wear a wig.
Yeah. just for fun. I'm done. I've now transitioned into a woman.
The candy cane girl.
Yeah, candy cane girl. I am now candy cane girl because that's better than
Twitch stream. You can be a Twitch streamer.
Yeah, thank you for the Twitch primes.
You know what's interesting? What that made me think of? That podcast I was listening to last night, it was Jeff FM, and he had a professional gambler on. And the professional gambler, they were talking about, gambling, obviously, and money, and like big amounts of money, large amounts of money, and playing at such like high risk. And Jeff was not getting what Mickey was saying. He's like, well, yeah. He's like, if you just lose it all, it's okay. You're better off now than you were before. And then Jeff was like, wait. Like he like couldn't get it. And Mickey was like, no. Like you're better off. Like all the experience, all the people you've met, like everything that you've had in life, like you're going to be better off with $0 than you were before when you had $0. Like before when you were destitute, like it was harder, but like you've come all this way, and yes, you've made all this money, and yes, you've lost all this money, but like you're better off. And it wasn't computing. And I was like, yes. Because this example of you of getting to the end and finding out, or the end of
the line, whatever the fuck that means. I can't even honestly make it real enough to be compelling. But
so say that you learn that God's not real.
Yep.
And that you so okay, well, all right, so easy. You just plug back in.
Easy.
And you build your marketing business. You just scale the shit out of it. You manipulate at scale. You know exactly what to say. You fucking a breeze.
Yeah. Maybe try heroin. Why not?
You can.
Something.
Other people do it.
Some sort of substance.
You can, whatever you want. Whatever you want. The world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want. And there's really not repercussions. Maybe you'll die.
Yeah.
But that's what you're going anyway. That's what you're going for anyway. So it doesn't matter.
Yep.
So that to me, like even just talking that out, like that to me says that God is real, because that's the very timeline darkness wants people on.
Yeah, I know.
Is doing drugs, not caring, work till you die.
I know. And this is the place I end up every time. I do this a lot, honestly. I do stuff like this a lot. I write it out at least every few months. I write out like what if this stuff isn't real kind of thing. Like
you definitely
there's
go
something
into it.
Because there's always
think that.
There's always unique challenges that people bring to us. I think there's like,
oh, that's true.
There's unique perspectives and unique challenges, and sometimes I can't figure them out right away, and it'll hit something, and I'll just keep following the thread until God's not real, because underneath everything, it's always God's not real, and that actually took a while to realize. But every single problem that anyone's ever brought us, any problem that ever comes up within me, it's always that God's not real. And I can pretend that it's not that. It's like, no, I'm just having a hard time. And it's like, no. Why are you having a hard time? So, well, because maybe it's not going to work out. Okay, if it doesn't work out, God's not real.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
you're following, or like, are you bad at the guidance? No, I don't. Like
Mm-hmm.
it kind of like, yeah, you can back yourself into a wall where eventually you hit. Oh, I just don't think God's not real. And if
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just can't I end up hitting the same thing where it's like when I try to prove that, I end up getting to the place where like that's such a stupid ass explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can never make it good.
Yeah.
In the same way as I can't imagine a circumstance that would make me even believe that God's not real. It's
Right.
funny.
Right.
Like it's hard to imagine a degree of hardship that would make me think that.
It has to go. It's so crazy how deep it has to go, because then say you're living on the streets, homeless,
Mm-hmm.
doing drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got your iPhone, you got your card, you got your
Mm-hmm.
money, you got your warm socks, you got your burrito,
Yep.
you got your tent, like, and you're still not believing in God. Like, but what about the person that got you like Carl's Jr. out of the blue when you were like so hungry? Or like, what about like
I know, and then you're living a life where you're synchronistically taken care of so often.
How does that work? And then you blow up on TikTok because you're sharing your homeless crib or whatever,
Yeah, when I blow up on MTV Cribs. Hey, welcome to my tent.
TikTok.
TikTok.
And you doing your dances outside your tent.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you explain the synchronicities?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how can you even get to the lowest rung of humanity and still not believe in God?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, but it's funny.
I mean, I'm sure there's lower rungs, but
honestly,
for the sake of
for
this.
me, the not believing in God is so easy. It's so easy. It's so much easier than deliberating. It's so much easier.
Well, I could like work for big pharma. I could do all sorts of
oh
things.
my God, the world opens up
Yes.
immediately,
Yep.
and it's so fun
Yep.
and it's so thrilling,
Yep.
and nothing really matters much. So you can just kind of go for it.
Yep.
There's not a lot of risk. Like there's a reckless abandon that comes from not believing in God that would be thrilling.
Yeah.
Thrilling. I think I would thoroughly enjoy hitting rock bottom and coming up from that. So without God, so it'd be so much fun and so exhilarating.
You have to change your entire, like, it wouldn't be synchronistic, right? It wouldn't be divine intervention.
Mm-hmm.
It would be like because you worked so hard. Or
Sure.
because
Yeah. Well, yeah. It would be because I put myself out there and I put myself in a position where luck was able to find me. That's how they talk about it, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh my God, get him on the podcast, guys. This is our atheist, our channel.
Yeah,
atheist,
our homeless atheist.
Formerly a channel. God, that would be such a crazy fucking story.
Yeah.
Former Jehovah's Witness, former channel to now atheist with a multi-million-dollar marketing agency.
Yeah. It was former Jehovah's Witness to atheist to channel.
Then back to atheist. Homeless atheist.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
you could do TikTok
there's
lives.
there's obvious challenges in it because I don't think reality actually works that way. But if reality were to work that way, that I'm afraid reality would work, it'd be so easy, and I know it'd be so easy.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's what's tough for me in actually being afraid of my circumstances and where things are going is when I play it all out, God's not real. And if God's not real, I'm fine. I'm honest. It's so honestly so easy. The world is so easy if God's not real. But if God is real, it's also significantly fucking better. Significantly fucking better.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it's also hard to like imagine a set of circumstances that can definitively say to me that God is real. Like in the same way as it's hard to imagine a set of circumstances that can make it definitive to me that God isn't real. Like it's hard for me to imagine things going super right all of a sudden, or like something happening where it proves like it's just me. I just have to kind of decide what I'm going to believe and what I'm going to like bet on, and I need to get fully on it. Because until then, we're like it's the worst kind of science. Yeah. It's the worst kind of science. We have too many factors. We're not really measuring anything. Where our experience is proving nothing to us. We're seeing what it's like to trust God, but to doubt God perpetually. What does that really? What do you really learn in that? What do you really learn?
Yeah.
You kind of just got to go, okay, let's just ride this out. Because if I
Exactly.
find out that God's not real, fucking great, easy. But if I find out that God's real, and if I go for it and things do continue to work out, then that's even better because that's what I want. You know?
Yep.
That's even better because that means that I'm ahead and everything that I've been doing has immense value.
Yep.
Like, oh shit. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, let's get on board. Let's do it. Yeah, might as well. It's immediately better, and the worst case scenario is also better. I guess that's what I'm trying to describe. Immediately it's better to go full on because the worst case scenario is like you find out that it's not real and you're off the hook.
Yeah.
All of these moral quandaries you have within you that keep you locked into this emotional turmoil, they're immediately gone. That's worst case scenario.
Right.
Fuck. Okay.
It's pretty liberating.
Might as well just go for it. See what happens.
I know. Yeah, if God wasn't real, it would be so much better.
I know.
Honestly.
I know.
Yeah, we wouldn't be living here.
No. Because there's an element of following God that drives you directly headfirst into hardship. And you need to learn to back that hardship, because if you can't back that hardship, you're just going to suffer under God. And that's not the lesson that's trying to happen anyway.
Right.
The thing that's trying to happen is recognizing that hardship isn't actually that big of a deal, recognizing that the money isn't really that big of a deal, that the consequences aren't really that big of a deal, like recognizing that you're actually much freer than you think, and your emotional system is wrong. It's not functioning properly. Your body is too manipulated. It's misfiring.
Yeah, my ears are ringing. It's wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Emil, Mickey is very interesting. Was following him close for a few weeks. Yeah. Mickey Mace. I know. He's fascinating. Him and his face tattoos. I just thought that was such a cool perspective too. Just feels like
Yeah, it could be better off.
Yeah, and it showed to me. I mean, he's been arrested in jail. I just love that archetype because like they've lived a life. Like it's like they've broken and bent the rules of, he's kicked out of every single casino in Vegas, and any other casino and anywhere in the country that's owned by a Vegas company, he can't go in. So there's like there's two in Connecticut. One he can go in, one he can't go in.
Funny.
And Jeff's friend Cody was offering to be his like ear. He's like, I'll go in and like we'll split it. We'll do 60-40 split. Like just tell me what to do. And Mickey was like, I actually have like my followers do that. Like we have a thing worked out. Like I fund all their bets. They don't take the losses, and we split the winnings.
Funny.
It's like, damn. It's like, it's such a like, I don't know. I just liked the whole like badass energy around the whole thing and the whole like fuckery of it. It was just refreshing because like people are so like uptight and puckered about money and like gambling and like wins and losses and what it means and like.
Yeah, it is cool watching someone kind of bend the rules, because the consensus idea is gambling is bad and you should stay away because you're going to lose money. It's irresponsible, and it's always stacked against you.
Yeah.
There's just these kind of platitudes. But then you see guys like that and they're like, yeah, but if you just go in and fucking play the system, then you can win.
Yep. Yeah, he said he like turned 200 into 800,000. Just kept over 3 days, just kept playing it. He's like, yeah, the pivotal point was like right when I hit the 5K. Like he's like, cause he kept playing, like that's what he was playing, like large hands or whatever, to playing like a $5,000 hand or whatever.
$200
into 800,000. Yeah. It was interesting. And then he stopped, and then Jeff was like, why didn't you wait till you got to the million? And he's like, well, because 800 was already the highest I'd ever won. So that felt like $1 million to me. Like it didn't matter. Like I already got there. So I just stopped. He's like, it was just time. I was like, I get it. I don't know. It was just getting it.
Yeah.
On such a different level. And it's maybe not even what he means, but I don't know. Just felt it.
Yeah, you can feel it. Well, there's a psychic component to it too.
Right.
Certainly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Yeah, because like even in that, like it's like, oh, I don't know. You get to those like upper echelons of like fame and wealth, and then you're provided the free rooms, you're provided the free jets, you're provided for
Mm-hmm.
like, and you just see how like made up it all is anyway.
Mm-hmm. I know.
But it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about this the other day, how when I think of the people that have succeeded the most, like the coaches, the entrepreneurs, out of the people I know that have succeeded the most, what they're doing is trying to figure out their shit. That's what they spend all their time doing, is trying to figure out who they are, what they can be, their like passions. They're trying to like dissect themselves and figure it out. And often they're deeply sad and they're in some degree of crisis and they're trying to figure it out. That's what, like, it's such a common archetype, like the like rich man that then has an existential crisis and realizes that it wasn't where, you know, it got him, whatever,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But it's funny thinking about that. Really, I don't know. There's something about the other day I was thinking about like a specific people and what their journey looked like once they had money, and they were just exploring and trying to figure out who they were. And I was like, that's the same thing that I'm doing. Like that's the same, but I'm further along than they are on that.
Yep.
And that's the only thing they care about.
Yeah.
They
I know.
just took that chunk of time to make money. Why? And
Exactly.
when I really dissect that, I can't find a good reason to take 6 years to make money to then get back to the same thing and be 6 years behind on the thing that ultimately is going to matter to you the most.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Like, fuck, I could not imagine, because it would have taken probably 5-6 years for me to build that marketing agency. I couldn't imagine being 5-6 years behind right now. We would have, I mean, I don't even know where the fuck
we wouldn't
were
be together.
I mean, maybe you were a little bougie bitch back then too. You
think?
enjoyed when I had
the
money.
luxuries of
You
life.
enjoyed it when we were in Mexico and just fucking,
Yeah.
you know, doing our thing, and you'd go
I
out for
know.
the swim and you fucking just have the margaritas
Okay.
and the, you know, the poolside bar.
Okay, I know.
Yeah,
I did love it.
yeah. We might have been together still because we pushed each other's evolution too. I think we might have still.
I don't know.
Maybe we wouldn't have.
I don't know.
But if I built that,
I could play. I could get in character.
yeah.
I could do that.
Yes. But I couldn't imagine making that trade. Do you know what I mean? I mean, sometimes it would be tempting. It's nice. It's nice. It feels like it would relieve some degree of pressure in some ways, but it's crazy to imagine being that far behind in this work, in how far we pushed our evolutionary edge, because we wouldn't know who we were. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's fairly recent that we've known who we are and got comfortable and built this degree of freedom and solidity. Like, it's very, very recent.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I feel like I actually don't give a fuck now. Like, I always knew I didn't want to give a fuck and that it wasn't right to give fucks, so I compartmentalized my fucks. Do you know what I mean? But now I like,
Yes.
it's actually, the fucks aren't being generated in the same way. And I couldn't imagine being so far behind. 5 years, 5-6 years to trade that just for different numbers in the bank, especially right now. If I bring it all the way forward to right now, and now there's this collective crisis. And like the landscape ahead,
leave it.
The landscape ahead feels like this.
You wouldn't leave the money. It would be way too hard.
Yeah, right. I mean, what happens
because you'd want to still continue to squirrel away all your cash because the end is near.
Yeah, maybe.
And that's what everyone would be around you saying. It'd be all about crypto. All about the blockchain and Web3.
I know. I don't know how much. I don't know if it'd be easier right now to have a million in the bank.
Not that, and to not know who you are and not have actually done any real work and just be frozen in time.
Oh, that makes it even easier.
But something would have had to happen, right?
For me to stop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like something pretty tragic
would have had to happen.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have stopped until my dad died, so I still wouldn't be stopping.
I know, because 2020 wouldn't even have made you stop.
Probably not.
No, because there would have been more opportunities for more money and more business and more. Because that's all that was.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I actually don't know what would make me stop. And honestly, even my dad dying wouldn't have. I don't know
No,
who
I
would
don't
have
think
really done
it wouldn't hit.
because it
Doesn't
doesn't
hit the
hit that
same.
hard.
Mm-mm.
But I don't know what because I'm much more resolved around my dad now. I don't know if I was still that unresolved around my dad and the religion and all of that stuff. It
Well,
might have
yeah,
actually
so
hit
much has
harder.
changed.
Because now,
right?
of my dad dying, it doesn't hit as hard as it would. I think if I was still because I was pretty. It was pretty rough.
Yeah, I know. The like whole cataclysm was your mom. That was
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
I know it's weird to play that stuff out or like
Mm-hmm.
think about that stuff.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I was thinking about
I feel like
that
deep
trade-off.
down we both would have been miserable though.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
And it would have been hard to figure out. We would have done so much like mental planning of how we're going to close down the business.
Yeah, we'd have so many whiteboards.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. We would have gotten like one of those whiteboard wallpapers and just
Oh,
fucking this
God.
whole wall.
Just-
it wouldn't be this.
No.
It would be whiteboard.
Yeah, that's true.
We wouldn't be here.
We wouldn't be here, no.
No,
But
I don't know
yeah.
where we'd be. Probably Texas, but it depends on what my relationship with my brother would be.
Yeah. I know. So it's so
yeah,
wild.
It's hard to tell what my relationship with my brother would be if I chose that path. Better.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I think so. It seems like everything would have just stayed frozen as it was.
Mm-hmm.
And like not really wrong. You know? Like it's what everyone else is doing anyway.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I'm really craving is super wings or some sort of chicken tenders.
That'd be good. We could do that.
It's nothing to do with anything. It's just real. I don't know. I just felt like I smelled like garlic butter sauce or something. I don't know. And thought of chicken wings. Whatever.
Whew. That was good.
Very good.
Yeah. Thanks for feeling into all that with us, y'all.
Yeah. That's great.
Mm-hmm. That was good. Great question, Ben. That was our
That's all we
reselling,
needed.
thrifting, or eBay story.
That's what we title this live.
Yeah.
How to resell on eBay. That's fucking
That's awesome.
awesome.
Oh my god.
That's so funny. I feel like we could.
That is really funny.
That would attract quite the different crowd. They'd be like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very good ship.
Are you hungry too?
Sure. I could definitely eat. Yeah. I mean, I want more coffee, so it's fucking 4:30, so I'm
So
definitely
probably
hungry.
food, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it. We're not gonna play outro music because my computer will.
I actually don't
Melt.
even have outro music anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I could put it to the fucking. Yeah, I could pull it up and watch this.
Or you
glitch
could
out
just
for
sing
a
us
bit
a
and
song.
then- yeah.
Spring is gonna bring. Yeah.
All right, I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.